let's talk about Marvel and DC and how these two could and maybe will save the industry going forward when it comes to comics, and maybe even a smaller budget film, which we know was in development by the Russo brothers. So, first up, obviously, comic book sales are not doing too good. Yeah, right in an industry that was already dying. So that's bad, right?
Dying's a strong word.
Okay, so it's downwards trend and not doing as good.
It wasn't a downwards trend.
Well, they don't give us digital sales, so we don't really know digitals.
There is that. That is fair. But I think it was last year was one of the biggest years of the decade. Like
that
for
is
the last
true, yeah.
like 20 odd years. So it's doing fine.
I think the problem in where we're at right now is comics are. They're not doing obviously as good as they've always been, there's obviously, you can argue quality and all that, which I think there's some stuff that's better today than it was ever, but there's also some stuff that's a little, this is kind of garbage. And if we think about it, there's been plenty of rumors that we could get another Marvel versus DC comic event. I mean, it's certainly been teased on both sides. And
I mean, last decade was actually the first since the 70s to not do one.
Yup, which was very weird, but both companies were under complete different leadership, so it might make sense from that standpoint. What do you think about the potential of that? Because we know that the Russo brothers are actually developing a movie based on the rivalry between Marvel and DC.
See, when you said that, I thought you meant like an actual crossover, and I was like, I've not heard about it.
Oh, no, it's like the documentary going to talk about people from both sides throughout the decades, the rivalry, the times they worked together. Honestly, to me, I think if they want to rebound the comic book industry, if they could time both of these together when all of this is over and hype up a major, hey, on Free Comic Book Day weekend of 2021 or 2022, right? Because you got to do this far out, you're going to get this movie that comes out. It's a documentary, and it's going to kick off the major event that kicks off with Marvel versus DC crossover. Honestly, I think this could bring in so many people in, because around that time, you always release a big Marvel movie in theaters anyway, and DC's usually a month before. I think this could honestly help comic books become more relevant again to the people that maybe have an interest but don't want to know, don't know where to start, which I see a lot, because it is daunting.
Oh, yeah.
It's very daunting to pick up a new comic book and be like, where do I start with Captain America? Well, you ready to go to 2002? It's like, Jesus Christ. You're like, do I have to?
At this point, I'm just like, pick a number one and start there.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what year it is, just pick that number one and start.
Here's the interesting thing, though. If they do a comic event, which would be really awesome, the issue I feel that would come with it is the already existing rivalry war between them. And
what, the stupid fanboy war or the company war? Because the companies are friends.
Say, there's no company war at all.
Yeah.
No. The fanboy one. I feel like it's going to make a huge uproar because one of the two has to come out a slightly more victorious than the other. I would say neither of them actually win.
No, that's the thing, Shay. If they fight each other for 3 issues of the 6-issue crossover until it's revealed that Darkseid and Thanos have worked together and they've created a new villain that's an amalgam of both of them, and they both team up to defeat him. Nobody comes out victorious.
Yeah. Very standard crossover.
Yup, very standard. Okay. Very.
As you can tell, then I have not read a crossover.
No, that's how you do it. You don't. Nobody would be victorious. I mean,
I'd say the first couple were verses, I believe,
and it was always cheap.
Yeah, it was always like, oh, there's either something always happens. It's like this would never happen.
Yeah,
but I think the one from the 2000s, the early 2000s, was a Justice League and Avengers. So it was them teaming up against something. I can't remember what it was, but it was definitely going to work together.
And that's kind of what gets me thinking about it. It's like, if you produce that, and then part of the last 10 minutes of your documentary that you're working on is them talking about how this is going to be a big factor and they're working together, and I think there's a lot to be said about what you can do with it and which direction you could take it in, and I think you kind of expand upon it, because you know how they have the big events. Instead of just making it 6 solo issues, have both of them do, like, you know, the periphery issues. Like, hey, you know, you got the Spider-Man that ties into this event, and you got the, I don't know, people love Red Hood. He always sells for some goddamn reason. You got the Red Hood that ties into this stupid thing. Like, you know, like, things like that I think could really work. And the way these studios work now, I think it's more possible now than ever, considering you've had the likes of James Gunn be like, is a Marvel and DC movie an actual live-action movie possible? And he was just like, now more than ever, these companies could do it. And it's like,
yeah.
You know, like, I really would not be shocked if years from now you saw, like, a Marvel TV character appear on a CW thing. And even, Greg Cole, you know, Coulson, Clark Gregg, even he was like, yeah, like, we've talked about that idea before with Jeff Loeb and stuff. It's like, I honestly think there's a reality where something could happen where it's like, oh, I never saw that coming.
They just got to get past a lot of the red tape in there.
Yep.
Here's the thing, too. Like, especially now, the fact that Marvel is opening up that multiverse, and DC literally just closed their multiverse. Like, you could still do it. There's still obviously more multiverses inside of DC, because at the end of their Crisis event, they showed that all these other ones are still alive. Just the core ones are one. So, like, both companies are in a multiverse event.
See, that's what I would do, is I would toss Doctor Strange comes out at the end of 2021. 2022, set it for that summer, the big crossover event, and have Doctor Strange, since it's the multiverse and all that, kind of be like, wow, there's other universes out here, and maybe allude to it, you don't have to show anything, and have the two companies work together to help each other out, right? Like,
see, this is what I do. You do things slightly differently. You do the whole, like, multiverse crossover thing. You don't have, like, Doctor Strange in the DC universe. You have Doctor Strange's equivalent.
Dr. Fate?
I suppose, yeah. So, like, if the Justice League went into the Marvel universe, you get the Squadron Supreme.
Yeah.
But it's with the DC actors. So, like, Pattinson would be Nighthawk or whatever the guy's name is.
Yeah.
And, like, Cavill would be Hyperion. And you do it that way.
Cavill's Hyperion or Sentry or something? Yes. Yeah. Honestly, like, I think there was potential, you know.
Then you'd actually have everybody, like, basically shitting bricks because of the fact that it would be the crossover of Deadpool and what's his name? Deathstroke.
You just get Ryan Reynolds being Deathstroke.
Yes. You get Ryan Reynolds being Deathstroke, and the last guy, the guy who played Deathstroke in Titans, being Ryan Reynolds.
He was really good as Deathstroke. He was really good.
That
See, maybe you could use that as the kickoff for everything. Deadpool goes to the DC universe and becomes Deathstroke, and that causes some kind of paradox.
That would be hilarious.
I mean, whatever they can do to make these two companies work together a little more, I'm down for it. Comic crossovers, slight TV things, a movie thing, Marvel's What If. Dude, do it in that. Oh my god, like that's the perfect outlet, quite honestly. Like,
that's where you test it.
Yeah, I think these two companies, you know, they have that bad rivalry because of some of the most hardcore fans. And, you know, I always say, like, I prefer Marvel because that's what I gravitated towards in my later years, but I was always a DC fan as a kid. Like, way bigger fan of everything DC. And then once I discovered The Punisher and, like, Daredevil and Iron Fist, I was like, oh, never mind. I like these characters way more than pretty much anything. So, it's interesting that these two companies they're more alike than they are different when you really think about it. But it's those slight little differences that people really, like, kind of gravitate towards that kind of start this stupid rivalry. Like
the Marvel ones being more a little bit more on the realistic side, and DC having gods.
Gods, yeah.
Which is funny because they're slow. You can see every now and then they'll just always spin to the opposite direction of each other.
Yep.
Like, one will be more grounded than the other one, and then the other one get grounded. And it's just kind of like, I see you. But now, the problem with doing it comics at the minute is where everything's delayed. When are you supposed to do it? Because Marvel's furloughed a couple of creators right now. Like the big issues are still being worked on, the little ones aren't, which kind of sucks, but it's kind of what you got to do at this point. So you know, they've also got Empire that's supposed to start soon.
Ooh.
Or it was supposed to start soon, their massive summer event. So that's obviously not going to happen now. So that's got to get delayed till everything kicks back up again. So when do you realistically... Like, you could still do this afterwards, but obviously you've got to catch up. And it's like, well, when do you do this? No.
I would honestly, I would do it in 2022. I think that's when comic books will start fully back into it. And you literally have both companies just come out at, like, the first Comic-Con that's, you know, kind of relevant, where they let more people in. Have both of them hold a panel together and announce this huge initiative. Be like, look, the world's coming together. We all came together. Our worlds will come together too. We'll, you know, make some sort of charity thing out of this, T-shirts and all that. Like, it would honestly save comic books at this point, like, and push them to more people than ever before. And I think that's an outlet. Like, that needs to happen. Like, and they've talked about it. They hinted at it. Various writers and artists have hinted towards it. So
I'll say they've all been talking about what they do on Twitter.
Yep.
And it's just like, just do it.
Do it.
Everyone's asking for it. You're thinking about it. Just do it. But,
yeah, it's if it does happen, you know.
If not, make it an indie. All get together and just kind of like do a little piss take sort of parody thing. Like, do it seriously, but, you know, have like parody names and just do it that way.
Just sit there and literally put Marcy. That's the combination of Marvel and DC. Marcy. We have Marcy Comics coming out, and it's the crossover events.
We have Cap In, and then we have like Wonder WMN. Oh God, it's like
I was to say just say Wonder Man, but you can't do that because of Marvel.
Yeah. So. How close can we tiptoe the line of infringing without getting sued? Welcome to Dark Horse.
Metallic Lad. No, Metallic Lad leads the Avengers. Major Flag. The Avengers. I can't think of one for Hulk. Bulk, I suppose.
Green.
No,
just green.
Green Meanie.
Green Meanie.
Falcon Eye. There you go.
There you go.
Or Falcon Pupil. No. Tarantula. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Bat.
Sounds horrible.
Bat-MEN, and you just have two Batmen.
Pink Mystic for Scarlet Witch.
This is great. This is great. Take this. Dark Horse, I know you need comic properties. Take this.
No.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Dark Horse is suffering.
Yep. So yeah, we'll talk more about Marvel and DC obviously in the future, and when inevitably we get another crossover, we'll talk about it because it's got to be coming. So we'll get to that for you guys soon. So thank you for taking the time to watch that video. If you guys would like more content that we offer here for channel members, which you guys can check out in the little join button down below, we do offer additional content, such as exclusive podcasts and topic discussions, our gaming podcast, Star Wars TV series reviews, Marvel show reviews, DC Universe and CW reviews. We offer personal vlogs, backlog reviews of TV shows and movies, video game topics and Q&As, and of course, in one of our best tiers, we offer audio commentaries on TV shows and movies, along with a bunch of other stuff you guys can check out just by clicking that join button and seeing what is on offer.